I was growing up, my relationship with money was quite messed up, to say the least. And maybe you've had your own struggles with money as well. Here's the thing. What I learned the really hard way is that if you want to start a side hustle and become an entrepreneur, mastering your personal finances is crucial. Why? Because if you don't know how to manage your money efficiently, your spending habits in your personal life will actually reflect in your business, which can be really fatal, especially if you're prone to emotional shopping like I am. So if you feel like your relationship with money isn't the best yet, you love today's video. Because the more I learned about money, the more I realized that there are really different stages, and each different stage comes with unique challenges. Let me share my own investing journey. Stage number 1, learning how money really works. So I never quite grasped how money worked because my dad had plenty of cash, but he also had this really crazy gambling and drinking thing going on. So in my mind, money equaled bad behavior. And then on the other hand, my mom, she came from a completely different background. It was all about saving every single penny and playing it safe with money. And maybe you can relate. That meant money was always scarce when I grew up. I kind of inherited both of their money views, and I knew I didn't want to be either of them, right? I didn't want to struggle to make ends meet or blowing cash like my dad, right? So I had this brilliant, or not so brilliant, idea to just stash as much cash as I can in my bank account. But guess what? Money just loses its value when it sits there. So you can't really get rich by hoarding your money. But everything changed when I read this book by Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. Oh my goodness, so good. By the way, I'll make sure to add a link to the book in the description below. You gotta get this. This is so valuable, and I think it costs like $10. So this book opened my eyes to the fact that money can grow over time if you invest it wisely in things like real estate or businesses, stuff that brings in more money. On the flip side, there are liabilities such as clothes or a fancy new car that don't really give you any return on your investment, and that's a problem. So what I also realized when I was reading this book is that buying a house is not the smartest decision either, because you have to pay property taxes for repairs, and all of that stuff really eats up into your wallet and you don't get any money back. So once I learned that, I really dipped my toes into investing, and boy, did I make some mistakes when I started investing. So let's talk about stage number 2, starting emotionless investing. Picture this. I walk into our Silicon Valley Innovation Lab one day, and there's this intense vibe in the air. And every one of my coworkers is just huddled around one of my colleagues' desks, and they're all staring at his phone. Why? Because he made over $30,000 in 2 days, thanks to Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, wild. What did I do? I thought to myself, oh, I gotta get onto this, right? So after work, I literally rushed home. I got myself some Bitcoin through Coinbase, and guess what happened a few weeks later? I lost most of it. Why? Because I let my emotions guide my investments, which should never be the case. But everything changed when I got my hands onto this book, Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Ramit's mantra, investing should be automated and really boring. Because here's the trick. Regular automated investments over years, that's how you win the game. Don't focus on like short-term like ups and downs. Really think long-term and zoom out. Create a system that works for you while you're asleep. And thanks to Ramit's advice, I now have multiple savings accounts, each for a different purpose, such as traveling or experiences and education. And it's funny because I used to think investing was for the Wall Street elite. I was wrong. It's a must for everyone. And once I automated my investments and my savings, I really entered the next stage, which is stage number 3, investing in myself. And I will never forget the day I dropped $497 on an Entrepreneurial membership. I remember like sitting there looking at that pay now button, and it really made my stomach flip. And I don't know if you can relate if you made a really big purchase recently. Here's the thing. Fast forward 3 years, I'm at Funnel Hacking Live, which is Russell Brunson's big event. I just swiped my credit card for literally $25,000 for their coaching program. Yes. So my investing standards have definitely evolved over time. But here's the thing. That's where the real returns are. Why reinvent the wheel and struggle alone when you can learn from others? Because here's the truth, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Money comes and goes, but time's irreplaceable. Money can buy you time. That's the beauty of it. So you see, when you really start investing in education, you really just can't unsee the returns and the benefits, right? The other thing too is like being around like-minded people like crushes those limiting beliefs that you have maybe around money, which I talk about in a second too. Now, you might be saying, Fabi, here's the thing, I can watch everything on YouTube for free, why would I pay? Yes, you can, but here's an interesting thing I heard Dean Graziosi say once. When you pay attention. It's very easy to get out of a commitment to yourself if something is for free, right? It's way more difficult if you pay $25,000 for coaching, right? That's why I also hired a running coach when I decided I want to tackle my first marathon ever. It made me stay focused, but also accountable and avoid really costly mistakes such as injury, right? As a newbie, that's a thing. That's why consider investing in yourself as the shortcut to learning from others' experiences. And here's the other beauty of this. No one can take away skills from you, and no one can even tax skills from you. So if you have a side hustle, you can actually expense education. So pretty cool. Okay, next up, stage 4, changing my money mindset, which is arguably one of the most crucial stages on this journey. Because if you find yourself stuck here, achieving financial freedom might remain out of reach if you don't know how to change your money mindset. And that was actually the hardest thing for me to overcome. I mean, even after studying the fundamentals of how money works and investing and assets and, skills, I really encountered something that held me back for years, which were my limiting beliefs around money. I mean, picture this, a broken washing machine, my mom in tears. When I was 6 years old, I accidentally destroyed a washer when my single mom was already struggling to make ends meet for me and my brother. So it really hit me hard back then. Money isn't just currency, it's filled with emotions. And one of the most significant limiting beliefs I carried around for a while was that the wealthy are selfish and greedy. Yes. The prevailing sentiment was, it's good to have money, but don't have too much money because it will change your character, right? You will become greedy. So recently I read this book called The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. Great book, by the way. And maybe you know him. It taught me a really profound lesson because limiting beliefs change when you encounter evidence that contradicts them. This is really key. You really need to experience it for yourself, right? You need to find the evidence. So my money mindset began to shift when I had the opportunity to actually meet multimillionaires through investing in myself, right? Through coaching. So to my surprise, they turned out to be some of the most generous and kind-hearted individuals I've ever met in my life. So my old belief that money is for the greedy got completely shattered. If you want to change your limiting mindset a little bit further, get this book. This is so good. I literally started hiding dollar bills all over my house, and whenever I stumbled upon $1 bill, I would shout out like positive money affirmations such as, I love money, money loves me back, and like, money is my best friends, and like, there's plenty of money. This book kind of taught me that. And here's the thing, once you realize there's no limit to how much you can earn, you're on your way to the next big stage, the thing we all crave, financial freedom. Stage number 5, when I made big strides toward financial freedom. So here's the thing, relying solely on a 6-figure job won't lead to financial freedom. My wake-up call when my husband lost his job, leaving us with just one income stream for over 8 months. When I read the book Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, which is one of the best books I've ever read, in this book, Robert Kiyosaki talks about 4 different quadrants: employed, self-employed, and then business owner, investor on the left side. And if you want to achieve financial freedom for you and your family, you need to move away from the left side to the right side, because here's an interesting stat. According to the IRS, millionaires have at least 7 recurring revenue streams. So I asked myself, how many revenue streams do I really have besides my 9 to 5? And I only had 1. The other big piece is, if you want to make your side hustle your full-time job, you need to focus on monthly recurring revenue, MRR. So invest in real estate, start a side hustle. But like, even if you start a side hustle and become your own boss, right? You need to apply the same principles. Don't just have one revenue stream. Let's say you make money from YouTube ads and suddenly your account gets shut down. Overnight, your income just vanishes, which is not ideal. So that's why it's really essential to sell memberships with monthly recurring revenue, ebooks, rely on affiliate revenue, online courses, right? So you have multiple revenue streams. That's really when you're not left empty-handed if one falters. Forget pinching pennies on coffee. Seriously, just focus on earning more and more. Your 9-to-5 job isn't as secure as you might think, and it won't bring you to financial freedom that you really crave. So, if you want to work from anywhere and no longer trade time for your money, really don't be afraid of money. And remember, money simply magnifies who you already are. So, leave a comment below and let me know which stage you're currently in. I will make sure to add all of the links of all the books that I mentioned in the description below. And if you're ready now to start a side hustle, which this channel is all about, make sure to watch these videos here next, where I explain how to discover an idea you're passionate about and turn it into multiple revenue streams.